welcome back to another episode.
What episode is this?
18.
18. Okay.
So, thank you for everybody that has been watching so far.
Right.
Let's just start by saying that. I know there are for sure a couple that have been watching.
Mm-hmm.
Because this episode is going to be, I guess, related to the feedback we got from those two.
Right, we did get some feedback.
I know. Y'all need to leave it in the comment, please. Well, yeah, if you want to text me, that's fine, too. I guess this, some kind of feedback is better than
Absolutely
no feedback. So,
yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about their feedback before we get too far in Irene's later years.
All right,
I guess
so
older years.
we're going to talk about Irene after our second reaction, right?
No, I think this is actually what we're going to talk about. It's before any reaction. What my sister and Kathy brought up.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But what is our episode going to be about other than that? I forgot. What are we supposed to talk about?
I don't know. So we're just going to talk about their feedback, and then maybe while we are in the episode, it'll come back to us.
Okay.
Or maybe we're going to cover the whole time talking about this. I don't know. We're just going to wing it and go.
Okay.
Because I don't think... Did we even do... Do you have your phone?
I do not have my phone. I don't have a timer.
Okay. All right. So, I want to say we've been in it for like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's go. So this incident happened. There were not reactions. They were just things that happened while we was learning to navigate all her allergies and we were getting used to it. So, the first one that my sister brought up is because Irene was not even walking yet.
Right.
Because we were at my mom's and my nephew must have been, gosh, how old is Julian right now? I think he's 13. Irene is 11. Was he 14?
Wow.
13 or 14, okay? So he's only, Irene's only 3 years.
So he's got to be 14. We've been together 13.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so he's like 14.
Yeah.
So there's like a 2-year difference between Irene and Julian. So, all right. So we saying this because by that time he should have been like 3 years old or something like that. And then we were visiting my mom, and my sister was there with my nephew. Obviously, my mom too. And I don't know. I can't remember who all was there, but we were there. We knew about Irene allergies. She wasn't really eating a lot of solids because she was still like around 1 year old, because for what happened was she was still in a walker. She wasn't even walking then. So she was in a walker, roaming around the house, whatever. And
your mom's house, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Julian was eating, I guess, eggs.
It was a fried egg.
Fried egg.
It was like a hard fried egg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't remember all the details. I guess it's kind of one of the reasons why we hadn't talked about it, because maybe we intentionally put it somewhere.
Blocked it in
our brains.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so I don't remember all the details. So, sister, when you're watching this, comment if I say anything different.
Chime in.
Yeah, or leave more details, whatever it is. Just list it down there.
Because was we there? I wasn't there.
We were there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. My memory is terrible. I'm going to tell you what.
It is. So I am pretty sure you were there.
I don't think I was there. I'm going to deny it anyway.
Okay, so Irene was on a walker. I don't know where Julian was sitting to where it was enough for her to reach and grab like a piece of egg.
Yeah.
And Julian alerted us like right away because he knew that she couldn't have it.
Right.
And I mean, we took it out before she even swallowed it or nothing.
Did you take it out of her mouth? Did I take it out of her mouth?
One of us did.
So I'm starting to get some memories back, but I really don't remember
Because I think it
Sticking my
happened
finger in
around
her
that
mouth.
time where, remember, she put a fork.
I do
One of
remember
the
her putting a fork in the
in the outlet.
in the outlet. I do
Okay.
remember that.
All right, that's another story. I don't really remember that one much, like, but it's just that just came to my mind right now. God, we horrible parents.
Right.
But so I guess that my sister reminded me of that because she said when she was watching the episode where we mentioned that I guess not everybody kind of, what did we said in that episode, like when she had her first reaction, they kind of clicked for everybody. And I meant it as in the seriousness. I think that's what
Severity
I
and
thought. Severity,
serious,
yes.
seriousness.
Not that
of
not
her
that
allergies.
nobody knew and nobody was taking care of it or being precautious about it.
Right.
Being cautious.
I think everybody knew, right?
Everybody
Everybody knew she had allergies. My mom, my family, your family, everybody knew it. And only reason I say it, or we said it really clicked at that moment, was, just we went to the ER.
Yeah.
It got serious. Just seeing her, and I think, for us too, it's like it's just more serious than what everybody thinks food allergies is when you experience something like that. So.
I mean, yeah, and yes, everybody knew and everybody was aware, including Julian, because I mean, he had later alerted us of, he told us Nina, Darlene, or whatever he said at that time. So that was one incident.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay. So then we learned to be more cautious, and then I think Julian has always been really good with Irene. Like, he will not eat anything that she cannot have around her.
Right.
I mean, he has grown up with it, knowing too, so he takes good care and he's cautious to it, and everybody is. But so that was one incident. Another incident that Kathy brought up was one of our vacations when we went to the beach. Irene must have been like a year and a half. She was walking then.
She was walking. She was still really young.
Yes, she was, and we were still in the old house, and we was. That was not the last vacation we took with my family. It was one of the first ones we started taking.
I think that was our first vacation.
Maybe that was
with
our
your
first
family.
vacation. Yeah, and Irene must have been like a year and a half.
It was Carolina Beach. We went to Carolina Beach.
Yeah, so Irene was starting to eat solids then, but we was just feeding her whatever we had at the house, and we hadn't been nowhere with her, nothing like public like that or big. So we walk to the boardwalk, was it, where they had the fair?
Yeah, so Carolina Beach, there's like a boardwalk or beach avenue or whatever you want to call it, and at the boardwalk they have like Ferris wheel. They have
little stands, food,
like a miniature what's the word that I'm looking, like a miniature fair. They got a couple little rides and stuff like that. So we actually called a taxi.
Did we though? Because
we called a taxi to go. Remember, we all rode in a van
because we didn't have car seats. I know we didn't drive.
No, we didn't drive.
But we didn't.
Did we walk?
Or was it?
Anyway, I can't remember. Anyways, the whole point of the story.
Now it got me thinking. Cause did we went and take out car seats? Because I don't remember carrying one back. Okay, skip all that and just go to what had happened was.
Yeah. So your sister was holding Irene. And I think me and you was. I don't know what we was doing.
So we all was there. We all were there.
Yeah.
Like my sister, my nephew, my mom, my dad. I don't even know if my brother was. All of us were in the vacation. I remember all of us were there at the boardwalk that night. I mean, it was just walking around, seeing the all the games, everything. Just our first night there, I want to say.
Right.
So just trying to get in vacation mode or whatever. And my sister, my sister has a big part of it because she was the one that went and got the little
Funnel cake.
Funnel cake.
Yeah.
Right. And she had asked the people at the fair, whoever was operating that stand, if it had eggs or if it was made with eggs or whatever. Then they said no. And Irene had a piece.
Yeah, she had a piece of it.
After she had a piece, we kind of started thinking, like, did she ask about the oil? Do the people who are there really know?
So I think she asked about the oil. I think she asked about everything. I think our decision on really what happens next, we did not trust the people that was working in these concessions.
Yeah, because we were like, we still didn't have that much experience then.
No, we did not.
So we were still learning, and then we was like, all this kind of, scenarios and what if and all of this comes to your mind. It still happens. Even when she tries something different and we double read and double check, all this stuff just comes through your mind. What if this? What if that? Da, 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 da. So all that went through our mind while she was still eating that piece of funnel cake. And then at that moment, we realized that we left the epi.
We didn't even have an epi on us.
In the room, in the condo where we were staying.
We had it in the condo.
Yeah, we
didn't
left
have it on us.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We left it at the room, at the condo, whatever. Because we were just like, what? So then we started freaking out because, she wasn't having like a reaction or nothing. But what if she was to have a reaction?
Right.
Like, we didn't have nothing. We didn't have Benadryl. We didn't have nothing. Like, it's like we just got up and left and went to the boardwalk, and then we forgot everything else. So it was like, oh my God. And I think that's when we tried to get a taxi just to try to get back faster to the room than us walking, because it was still a good little walk.
So it's probably 2 miles from the house, 2.5 miles, or the condo, 2.5 miles from the condo.
I don't know. I remember
something
just by
along
blocks.
those lines.
But
maybe longer.
Maybe. I don't know. But then like we were started questioning, and we were like, oh my God, we failed again. Like we're failing at this. Like we not carrying what we need to have. Like we don't have nothing with us. So we called a taxi, and I don't think we could get a taxi there until like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was going to be a couple minutes.
Like a minute. Like it was a little bit of wait. So we were like, we cannot just stand around here and just wait to see if something happens. I mean, nothing happened. Just to be clear, she did not have a reaction.
Yeah, no reaction.
No reaction. Everything was good. But at that moment, we were like, what if we just not going to sit around? So you started running to the room.
I took off. When we realized that the taxi was going to be like 15 minute wait, it was like, I'm 2 miles away. I can probably run this in 10, 15 minutes, so I took off running.
And then we were like, what are we doing? So we just started walking behind you.
Walking back.
So it was like, if something happened, we're going to meet halfway. If the taxi, whatever, we cannot just stand around here and wait.
So honestly, I think that was probably our first. That was probably something that was one of our first mistakes as parents. Yes. Because luckily she did not have a reaction, but we was not prepared.
We were not, and it's hard, right? Like we were, and that's why I'm thinking it was our first vacation. Because you get to a routine, right? You get into your norm, like you do all of these things right before you leave. But now we're here, we're at the beach. We're gonna enjoy this vacation. We're going to have fun. Irene's gonna go to the beach. We're gonna do all this. Let's go to the boardwalk. It's late, probably past her bedtime, her nap time. Who knows? So a lot of the things were happening, and that's what we said. Like that's when you messed up. When you have a lot of stuff going on, you get comfortable. You get, and you just get out of your norm, and you're like, what? So.
Yeah, that was our first mistake as parents, not bringing everything we needed to bring with us. And, like I said, luckily, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
She didn't even have a reaction. Everything was good.
Probably it was safe, and maybe it was safe, but I don't think we have ever let her eat
anything. Once we found out she had allergies. I keep
forgetting that name.
Funnel cake.
Funnel cake. I don't think she has ever had a funnel cake since that incident, just because we don't trust the people. Usually we'll get it like at a fair, at this place. I don't feel comfortable enough with the people.
So on a lot of these concessions, right? They have a couple things. They don't have a lot of stuff. They're very conservative on what they do or whatnot. So they're not going to have two different oils for different things. It could be cross-contaminated. There was tons of things that could have went wrong, and we was not prepared for it.
And I think that's a big thing when it comes to allergies, cross-contamination.
Yeah.
We're gonna dedicate probably a whole episode or maybe 2 episodes. I don't know how many, just talking about that, because I think that's where a lot of incidents happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to discuss this before we moved too far ahead, because this was still part of the younger years.
Yeah.
Of Irene, of us learning how to navigate through all of this allergies. And like I said, it's still today, even when she's going to try something new. It's like there's no ease unless we make it, right? If we make it, we feel like we have more control, and we are more careful, and we know exactly what we put, that when she tries something new outside the house, which is very rare.
Very rare.
Very, like, she won't try something that somebody else made. That just won't happen. But like if we buy a new piece of candy, like cereal or something like that, that's when all these questions, that what if I miss ingredient? What if I didn't read this? What if whatever it was. So,
right.
Yeah. So that was the things we wanted to talk about. So now we go back to the timeline. What we talked about it last? I think about her dog allergy, right?
Yeah, we so I know the egg reaction was in that, right?
Yeah, it was in that. And I know we have talked about her dog allergy too.
Yeah.
Which, we discussed that she outgrew it, and that she had. So I'm trying to think back. What happened after that? She outgrew her allergies, and I think the next big thing that happened in her life was her starting school.
Right.
And then when she started kindergarten, it was back in 2019, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So that year, everybody knows
COVID.
how that year was. So,
right.
While we went through the orientation and stuff, we talked with the principal. We met with the principal a couple times. We made the decision of her taking her lunch, keep taking her lunch until today. Right. She doesn't eat from the cafeteria. That was a lot of
we had 2 or 3 conversations with the principal, talked to the teacher, the cafeteria workers. I think they sent us information.
Yeah.
We wasn't going to go with school food or anything like that. We decided on packing her lunch, but honestly, it was fear. I think the school they was pretty prepared.
Yeah.
Then I think, and
I think so.
It was. They seemed the principal and her teachers, even up till today, seem pretty knowledgeable about the subject.
Yeah, and I think something that we have always done, we have always tried to keep a good communication with the teacher.
Yeah.
Like we make sure we're there to meet them, open house, all kinds of stuff. We're there, and we try to have a communication. I don't think this year has been as, I haven't had that much communication with the teacher. Yeah, I talked to her at all of this stuff, but it hasn't been like it was the years before. Maybe because Irene is older.
Yeah.
And we have already got to a routine, and we're used to, we send her stuff, we do all of this. So that's kind of have been different. But back then, the teachers and the principal made us feel comfortable, but then it wasn't a normal year. Half of her kindergarten year, more than half, I can't remember, when they sent the kids to school back in 2020.
Yeah.
She spent it here at the house.
A lot of it was
Remote.
Her first grade year was a lot of it was remote also.
Yeah, her first year too.
Yeah, first grade.
I don't think she really started going into school till maybe like third grade.
Something like that, yeah.
Which is crazy.
So didn't 2019, she started off going to school though, right?
Yeah.
Started off going to school. And then I think somewhere, and I can't remember, right? But
March,
mid-year.
wasn't it?
Mid-year or something like
March?
that. That's when they
sent everybody home.
They sent everybody home. Yeah.
It's like I feel like I blocked all those years. Oh, it happened so fast. So it was so crazy that I don't really remember everything. But luckily, when it comes to allergies, nothing happened within that time.
Yeah.
But we were really careful when let's go ahead and talk about COVID. Because because of her food allergies and everything, she also has asthma. Mm-hmm. And that was our main concern with her.
So with the food allergies, right? She comes along asthma, comes along a weakened immune system.
Yes.
She really didn't have, and I don't guess she still really has an immune system super strong, you know.
Yeah, because she will catch everything. But it has gotten easier as she has gotten older because she's more like, use more hand sanitizer. Don't be touching this. You cannot share this. All of this stuff.
She's learned to adapt. She's adapted to it. Yeah.
So she hasn't been this year. The past maybe 2 years hasn't been as bad as they were. But when all that COVID stuff happened, we were really concerned on her catching. I mean, everybody was freaking out when COVID first came around. I mean, nobody really knew. Like, there was all kinds of stuff in the media, and it was just everybody. I don't think we need to explain much or talk much about COVID, but like how it affected us, us having to be really, really careful to make sure that Irene was okay.
So I'm just to hit on that a little bit. I'm typically not a what's the word I'm looking for? Jump on the bandwagon. I'm kind of a straight shooter kind of guy, but
do your thing.
Yeah, do it your way. I listen to the news, but don't really pay it a lot of attention. I guess don't believe it unless I see it, kind of deal. But I guess when that first come out, I was a little scared, and honestly, we had set up a wash station in our basement. And every time we went outside, every time we went to get groceries and stuff like that, we would bring the groceries
through the basement,
wash them. And I'm talking about washing the cans, washing the bags, wiping down the boxes. We would do it. We would do it all. And I think I think I was scared. We was all scared. And before we brought stuff upstairs to the kitchen, just for her.
Yeah, and that has always been our, not just COVID, right? So every time anybody in the house gets sick, even if it's just a cold, just anything, we do, like, remember I was like, I have got the flu and all this stuff. I stay completely away from Irene.
Yeah.
Like,
kind of confined to a room, yes. One room.
And
bedroom.
or if you get sick, then you stay away from Irene. If Robert gets sick, we all stay away from Irene, and we keep our distance, even if it's like a minor thing.
Yeah.
A cold, a stomach bug, or whatever it is. We have always kept her.
Kept at a distance from
her.
Kept
it
away
because,
from her.
Like you mentioned, her immune system has never been perfect. And she will catch anything and everything. So we have always been careful about that, because it just kind of all tied together with her asthma and everything. I mean, when she was little, she used to have really, really bad episodes.
Getting sick,
and then not needing to do her breathing treatment, and it was just like, oh my God, here we go again.
So we still, every once in a while, even to this day, she's got to use her nebulizer every once in a while.
Yeah, and it has happened recently. So it's like, we going off subject everywhere. But just I mean, and we're talking about this because it's all tied together,
Yeah.
right? We have always been careful with her allergies, and because of it, sometimes she get episodes with her asthma, and she needing more help. So right now she uses a inhaler because she's older. When she was little, it always had to be the
Nebulizer.
That and her little mask and stuff. And we went through years where she was fine, and we went through years where it was like, it's as soon as any season change or the weather changed, we will have an episode, and we were right back starting to do this. The doctor, and maybe that's something we kind of tied at those years when she started school, because she missed a lot of school days.
Yeah.
She would, not like a ton, but that was when she would miss school because she had her breathing stuff where she couldn't, I mean, her chest would just be wheezing like crazy.
Yeah.
And needing a treatment. And we couldn't send her to school because she couldn't stop coughing or stuff like that. Not particularly related to allergies, but just with her immune system and everything. And I think the last time she had an episode, it was recent, right?
Yeah, it was actually, a month ago or something like that, I think.
Maybe. Those things just flare up and come out of nowhere.
It's a season change, so it's probably right before it turned cold.
Yeah, so it was right around we did our vacation and stuff, because we went from one climate to another, and it all caught up to her.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah. So we went to our cruise in Florida, and then back here, and all that.
Yeah.
Like too many climate changes has always caused her to have this. But I'm trying to think and trying to remember if we missed anything in those years.
I'm sure if we do,
somebody's gonna remind us.
Somebody will remind us. But anyway, after that though, after we got through COVID, the next thing was that Tampa? Are we gonna skip to that?
Do you remember what time I said we started? I think we can talk about it.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about it.
So, how old was she? Right around that time, I think.
This was around that time because it was the summer, probably.
No, it wasn't summer. It was Christmas.
So it was probably either her kindergarten year or her first grade year. Because was that COVID? Yeah, it had to be. That was right in that COVID period, right? And Florida didn't quite treat COVID like a lot of the other states around have treated.
I'm thinking.
What do you think?
You're probably right. Whatever it was around that time that we're trying to stick around.
And
I think you mentioned it a little bit in another episode where you are always trying to find something for her to have.
Yeah, and this is exactly what happened. This is what got me in trouble there, where I messed up at. And we had already set a couple.
You.
Yeah, but with that being said, we had already set a couple rules in that we was going to
implement.
I was going to read, especially when she tries something new.
I was going to read.
You was going to read.
And at that time, I think we were teaching her.
To start reading,
yeah, because by that time, so maybe it was around the second grade, because she was starting to read a little bit.
Yeah.
So it could have been kindergarten
probably
or something like
grade.
That.
You're probably right.
What? So Christmas, we tend to go to Florida every Christmas.
Get out of the cold weather.
Yep. Go see your mom and
go visit her mom for Christmas.
Enjoy some sunny weather and all the good stuff. So we were there. I don't know if we have been there a few days. So
probably
when we had arrived, whatever, it's not important. But we went to get groceries, like we said. We always go get her. go get her groceries. She wasn't staying with your mom. I don't think we had anything planned, but we still went to get her stuff for her to have while we were there and all this
It
kind of
had
stuff.
to have been early in the trip.
Yeah, it had to.
It had to be either the first or second day there because, like I said, we always go. We buy her some stuff, so she has snacks. And actually, honestly, now mom kind of knows, and she gets her snacks now. But yeah,
we went to Walmart.
We went to Walmart, and like always, I'm always trying to find her because it seems like, for one, she's a picky eater.
Oh God, yes.
She don't venture away from what she normally eats.
And let's just say that she already has a limited amount of food she can eat, and then she's gonna be picky.
It's very limited what she can eat. Plus, she's picky. So it's I feel like sometimes it's my goal to find her. Oh my God, I love this. It's just, and so I went in and we was looking and or you was in the truck.
I think Irene and I waited for you in the car.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she wasn't feeling good or something, or
I don't even know.
But I do remember y'all being in the car.
You came back in after you went into Walmart, grabbed whatever we needed or whatever, right. And then you got in, and then in our way back to your mom's, we started. You said that you have found something she could have.
It was a Skor bar, SKOR. I think that's what it was called, Skor.
Really?
Or was the coffee?
Oh God, what is it?
I could have swore it was a Skor.
We're gonna have to
go back and find out
what it was, because it does not sound familiar. But maybe I blocked it. Who knows?
And you know what? I mean, I'm thinking this might not have been the first day. Because I must have just went in. If I went in by myself, it was just a quick in and out. We needed to get a drink or some Pepsi or Coke or something. Or just something simple. Because I remember me being in line, and I can't remember if I had a card or not. But I'm waiting in line to get checked out.
And that's where you
And
saw
I'm looking at candy bars. Mm-hmm. And I'll pick up a candy bar and read it. Well, this has peanuts in it. She can't have it. Blah, blah, blah. And I keep going. And then I find this bar. And there's nothing in bold letters on it. There's no bold letters. I'm like, well, that's typically a good sign, right?
And it was a chocolate bar, which is very rare for chocolate not to have anything.
Man, nothing's bold. Nothing's in bold. So I start reading the ingredients. And I read over, and I take my finger and I read over the ingredients, whatever. And I don't see nothing either. And I'm like, oh man, she can have this, I was like, well, that's awesome. I'll go ahead and get this too. Mm-hmm. She can try this candy bar. And, la-da-da-da-da. So
you grabbed it, got in the car, and then you said, hey, I found something she can have. You want to read it?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, let me know. And then I read it, and I was like, you're right. She can have this.
Right.
I was like, Irene, you want to try this? She's like, I can't have it. I was like, yeah, you can have it. So I go ahead and
break her off
a little piece, give it to her. And then I go and grab me a little piece, and I start eating it. And I was like, wait a minute. There's something crunchy in here. So I went back and tried to read it, and I couldn't find nothing.
And it was supposed to be the toffee. That's what I thought was crunchy, the toffee in it.
So I was like, I went back and read it, and I couldn't see anything. And I was like, this. So I break the thing, and I was like, that's an almond. It was an almond, right?
I think it was almonds.
And I was like, what? And we're going to have to go back and find the candy.
Yeah,
and
maybe, we can.
You know what? Next time we go to the store, maybe we pick it up so we can show where we missed it.
Yeah, if it's still in the same spot.
If it's still in the same spot. Okay, if it's not, then we ain't going to show it, because then people going to think we did that on purpose. Anyways.
So it's, it had to have been, and to be honest, I don't think I ever seen it.
Well,
Heath bar. You're right. It was a Heath bar. Heath or something like that. It was a Heath bar. Yeah. And so on candy bars, when especially on flat thin candy bars, the way they crease it over on the bottom, where they heat shrink the paper or the wrapper together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the way that's folded over.
I think that's where it was.
It had to be where it was.
Because it was somewhere I found it on the package, and then as soon as we realized, we were like, "Are you kidding me? Yep. Like, are you freaking kidding me?" here we go again. Like, we done this.
We messed up again.
So what do? I mean, told her not to stop eating it. She was like, I already ate it. It's like, oh my God. I was in the front seat, so I just kept looking at her. We punch in the closest emergency thing. ER.
Go straight to the ER.
We head straight there. I calling your mom. Hey, we gave this to Irene. We're going to go to the emergency, because Robert was with her. It was only the three of us.
Yeah,
and Robert
stayed with Mom.
Mm-hmm. So we went there, and as soon as we got there, I'm like, she just ate this. She has severe food allergy, like peanut tree nut allergy, and she just ate it. And they're like, "Is she okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, she's okay." I did not administer anything because we were driving, right?
And I don't think she had a lot of reaction. She didn't have much of a reaction so far.
And luckily, we weren't far. Maybe we were like 5 minutes from it. So we pulled in, we got the thing, they took us to the back, and then they started looking at her, and she wasn't showing any symptoms. So then they started questioning, are you sure she's allergic to this?
I remember.
How do you know? What had been her reaction? I was like, well, she has never ate an almond. And we know she has food allergies because she has been tested for them. Like, this is not something we're making up or we think. Like, this is for real. So they were very chillaxed about it, like calm, and I don't know, maybe we have said this too. Every doctor, or physician or nurses, they see it different.
They have different opinions on it. Yeah,
that so.
And the doctor, I know we had talked to some of the nurses, and it seemed like, if I remember right, the nurses took it more seriously than the actual doctor did. And he'd come in and he talked to us. He was questioning us. Well, how do you know? Are you sure she ate it? You know, it's like, bro, like
we know.
We just gave it to her. Well, like, we freaking know. And, well, she's not showing any signs. You sure she's allergic? It's like, bro, we freaking know she's allergic to this stuff. They did
give her medicine, though. Whatever that medicine.
A steroid.
Yeah, and there's a specific one that they give her, but I can never remember. What is it?
And it was it's
a liquid one.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating there.
It was.
I was very disappointed with the doctors there, but and eventually she did throw up.
And she showed that kind of like under the skin
but
thing.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad at all. Thank God it wasn't.
She threw up. She threw up a couple times, and her belly started cramping. She was talking about how her stomach hurt so bad. And,
but it wasn't like the other time though. It wasn't like how she had her M&M one. And after that,
she was scared.
She was scared, yes.
But she didn't have a lot of reaction, you know. And then the doctor come back in. This is probably on about hour 4. After she had ate.
Yeah, because I think it was, we didn't stay there as long as we have ever stayed with any of her reactions.
By hour 4, I think he started, well, I think everything's okay. Y'all wanting to go home, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because it was Christmas Eve.
Yeah. And it wasn't busy, actually.
No, they weren't not. She got to see Santa.
Yeah.
Santa came by and see her.
And he was like, you want to go home? I'm like, well, I feel comfortable staying here a little bit longer. And
we might have stayed another hour if it was another hour.
We stayed a little bit longer than that, I think, because he come back again. And I said, well, I would feel comfortable if we stayed, at least 7 or 8 hours. And I can't remember how long we stayed, though.
I can't remember, but I know it was the shortest we have ever stayed.
And he said, well, I feel
but I cannot remember how long we stayed in India.
I feel confident that everything blah 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 is okay. He did. I just felt like he never took it really seriously. I guess after she threw up and he saw the whelps, he did believe us about her allergies and stuff like that, but it never felt like it has with any other time.
No, and it wasn't as crazy or nothing. So, so that was the day we said she's not trying anything new.
Yeah, we said that, but I still look for new stuff.
But she hasn't really tried anything new.
Candy bars and stuff like that, no. We do like meals and
different kind of food, different kind of recipes and stuff, but nothing like we try to minimize till today how many new like out of the store stuff to try. But that was another fail. Another emergency visit.
What was that for? What is it?
Huh?
Another emergency visit?
Yeah, so I said that was another fail, another emergency visit.
Uh-huh.
The one we just talked about.
Oh, my God. Like, what are you talking about?
Because I was just somewhere.
Like, where are you going with this? Like, another one already?
I'm just saying, like, we just talked about it. Come on, keep up.
But
you got lost somewhere.
I thought you was lost. I thought you was going down a different road or something.
That's just another fail, another visit.
Yeah, we have failed a couple times, and as much as we wish we could take it back and do it over, we have learned a lot
through every visit,
from every failure, from
and every accident we have learned.
It is tough, and it's tough going back through them, reliving them, but I think it's good too to talk about it.
But that was the last one that was our fault.
Yes. Knock on wood. Let's hope it don't happen again at all.
Is this fake wood?
I don't know if that's fake or not. That's real wood.
That's real wood.
Like I said, I hope it don't happen again with our fault or whoever's anybody's fault. But
let's look at the positives.
What's the positives?
Oh, that was our last fault. That's our positive.
I thought you was gonna name off top 5 positives from this episode or something.
No, just I interrupted you. Sorry.
I done lost my train of thought.
I know I lost it too. So okay, this episode was just a little bit all over the place, but kind of stayed in the same timeline. We haven't ventured out too far out, but yeah, like you said, we have learned from everything. We, like you were saying too, we don't wish that to happen, even our fault or nobody's fault or nothing. It's just crazy, and it's just stuff that we have to live with every day, that we have to keep looking, that we have to be vigilant and not let our guard down, and not let the unexpected, right? That we feel so comfortable and we in this routine that if we get off of it, we should be able to adapt and make sure that she's okay, which I think we have learned. Like you said, it takes time. It takes time,
and it takes, like I said, we still beat ourselves up about some of the things we've done with letting her get to some of these nuts and letting her eat eggs and stuff, but you learn, and we have learned. We're still learning, but nobody's perfect, and like I said, we've learned from all these mistakes, and I hope it don't happen again. I ain't saying it won't, or that it can't. Let's hope not, but we have learned a lot.
Yep. And I think with that, we're going to wrap this episode.
Yeah, so this was episode
18.
Well, I really don't know what we're going to talk about in 19.
Me neither. I can think of it right now, but we know there's something to talk about.
Yeah, we're still in the 5 and 6 years range.
I think we're up into 7, right?
7.
8. I don't know. I got to get back and remember things and go back and...
Yeah.
And we're going to see if we can find that piece of candy.
The Heath bar.
Will we show it? That'd be the question, because I don't know if we'll show it, depending if
how bad it makes us look.
Yeah. But leave your comment, share, like, turn in your notification bell thingy so you know when we releasing a new episode.
Yes.
We trying to stay at two episodes a week.
2 episodes a week.
We haven't nailed it 100% which days, but 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
And yeah, just stay tuned for another one. Leave your comments. And if we miss anything, leave a comment. And also text me. You can text me, but leave a comment.
Let us know.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.